Are we on then?
Yep.
All right, that's great. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this brand new podcast channel. On this channel, we'll just pretty much be doing podcasts about random topics, and I'm here with Buzz Lightyear because, Iron Lightning, it's sort of shared if you're keeping up. So today's topic is going to be DCEU's new Batman. So recently some news came out. Someone from very important for DC, forgot his name, but he announced that Michael Keaton will basically be replacing Ben Affleck as the DCEU Batman, which is because Ben Affleck doesn't really want to be Batman anymore, and I guess DC just couldn't be bothered recasting him, so they just sort of got an old Batman and just made him the new Batman, which is kind of weird. Buzz, anything you got to say right now?
Man, why? Well, it's strange that they just cast some old random Batman. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think what they're trying to do is not make him really the Batman we all know. Like, not the Batman where he's always crime fighting and always saving Gotham. I've heard where people want him to be sort of like the man in the chair sort of role. Like, sort of like Ned in the Spider-Man MCU films or whatever. Or like, sort of like a Nick Fury role or something in the MCU. Where he sort of just runs the Justice League. Which would be kind of cool. But I have very mixed feelings about this, not gonna lie. Because on one hand, I really liked Ben Affleck's Batman. I think he just had bad luck, he was in a lot of bad films. I mean, apparently the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman's good, but I haven't seen it. But things like Justice League and Suicide Squad, yeah, they're the only other films he's been in, and they're not very good films at all. Ben Affleck was probably one of the best Batman when it came to looks in the suit. I think he was perfectly cast pretty much. He's almost like a Robert Downey Jr., which is cool. Anything you got to say at the moment?
No. Wait, so he's being guy in the chair?
That's what people are thinking, basically.
Man, I just want to see a Batman crime fighting.
Yeah, same, but one thing people have been theorising, which I don't want to brag or anything, but I theorised this a couple months after these theories actually came out, but when Michael Keaton was cast back as Batman, people, their mind went to, since he's old and that, they might be trying to do a Batman Beyond story with a new Batman called Terry McGinnis. Have you ever heard of Batman Beyond?
No.
You've never heard of Batman Beyond?
Well, I've heard about it, but I've never seen it.
Basically, it's just like a young guy. He's basically like late teens, early 20s maybe, who old Bruce Wayne trains to stop crime, and he's got a cool suit. Basically, it's like fully black with a red symbol.
Nice. Oh. Correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't there like an animated thing for it?
Yeah, I think that's what it was originally, to be honest.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I used to watch it quite a bit. I didn't understand what it was because I always thought, why does Batman look weird? But now I know. Yeah, so another theory is that they're trying to set up Gotham Knights, where basically Michael Keaton's Batman will be like Nick Fury in not only like a guy who just runs a team, but he also puts a team together. And basically what he might be doing is, in his universe, they might make more Michael Keaton Batman movies, and they'll build up to the Gotham Knight, where one movie he's training Dick Grayson, another movie he's training Jason Todd and a summit, and then they assemble and become the Gotham Knights, which I think is pretty sick, if they
So
do that.
he's just jumping from Robin to Robin.
Sort of, yeah. I think they might do something where Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing and then he wants a new Robin, but that Robin becomes bad and then he wants another Robin, but then the bad Robin becomes good and then they have Batgirl or whatever, and then they all just decide to be a team, but it was never really planned out to be a team. We just sort of wanted Robin.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm actually quite excited about this because, like, I never thought in a million years that Michael Keaton would ever come back as Batman. I mean, he was my favourite Batman, and I'm really sad that Tim Burton never got to make another Batman film because he was supposed to. Instead, we got Batman Forever, which exists. Uh, yeah, so could be a chance for a future Tim Burton Batman sequel. And, you know, Marvel are kind of doing the same thing. Like, they're bringing back old Spider-Man, and now people are thinking they might make sequels to those versions of Spider-Man, which would be cool. We were supposed to get what's he called? Spider-Man 4, and we were supposed to get The Amazing Spider-Man 3. Yeah. So
I'm sad that Amazing Spider-Man 3 never happened because it looks like it's gonna be so bad that it's good.
and it was going to be so bad that it's interesting. Like the things that people would tell you about it would get you interested, because things that I've heard is they're supposed to be setting up the Sinister Six, and the Spider-Man's apparently gonna get the ability to bring people back to life using his blood, and he brings Gwen back to life, and apparently Mary Jane would be in it as well. Same with
Yeah.
Black. He was apparently supposed to be in it. Anyway, kind of off topic there. On one hand, I'm really excited about this because, like, just Michael Keaton is my personal favorite Batman. I know a lot of people say Christian Bale, but Michael Keaton's just always been the best, to be honest. I mean, I know he killed a couple of people, but every Batman's killed at least a couple of people, especially Ben Affleck. Yeah. So on one hand, I'm really, really excited for this, and I think it's cool. But on the other hand, I want to see a crime-fighting Batman in the DCEU. I mean, Ben Affleck was actually great, apart from the fact that he killed people and he was in a few bad films. I think he was, like, a really good Batman, but, like, I understand that they can't do that anymore because Ben Affleck's gone, but they could have just tried to recast or something. And it kind of feels lazy to just get an old Batman back instead of just recasting. It feels like they're just scared to try something new and just trying to get something old and use it again. But, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about getting Michael Keaton back? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? And explain why.
I don't know really because I want to see a crime-fighting Batman, but Michael Keaton, he's the homie, he's the G, right? He played Chick Hicks, and Chick Hicks is the greatest person of all time. So yeah.
In it. Well, I for Christmas I actually got the Batman 1989 DVD, and that's mainly because I lost the one I already had. And I also have Batman Returns on DVD, so I'm a big fan of both of them films. I know people love Batman 1989. I'm not sure what people really think about Batman Returns, but I quite like it. Oh, yeah, and this could be a chance to bring back Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, because if you've seen Batman Returns, which I don't know if you have you?
No.
Well, basically, at the end of the film, basically in the final battle, it seems like Catwoman was dead, but then at the end, you see a shadow of her in an alleyway, and then you see her at a building looking at, like, the bat signal or the moon or something like that, and it just ended and it never continued, and we never know what really happened. But this could be a chance where, like, they could do an interesting story where years and years later, they meet each other again, and Batman's like, "Yo, I thought you were dead," and Michelle Pfeiffer's like, "Hey, yeah, you thought I was dead, but I'm not. I've been alive for ages, man." Which would be,
Wow.
which would be cool. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things he wanted to do with the franchise, but they just could never do it. And this is pretty much the perfect opportunity. And yeah, and I think Michael Keaton. One reason they got Michael Keaton to return as Batman was so they can get more people to watch Flash. Because when I first heard about what the Flash film was going to be like, I was not happy with the story they were going with. It's not that I don't like the story, which is Flashpoint. It's just that I think it's too early, because in the Flashpoint story, Flash accidentally ruins time, and then basically loses everything, his friends, and it's basically him wanting to bring back his mum. That's a good story and all, but it suits as an end of a franchise, because by the end of the franchise, you know that he's who his character is, and he's got he's had happy times, he's had happy endings, he's got friends and family, people that love him. But now you're just like, no, we're gonna start with him losing everything, which just seems weird. But so I was not interested in the Flash film when that news first came out. But when I heard about the Michael Keaton stuff, it just got me really excited, to be honest, and made me actually interested in the film. And also the fact that Michael Keaton will make the new Flash suit for the Flash film is great. Have you seen the concept art?
Nope.
Basically, it's pretty much the Flash in a new suit that Michael Keaton's Batman made, and Michael Keaton's Batman fighting some people together. I don't know who they are. So we are going to get some fighting from Michael Keaton's Batman, and
No.
it's also in the original suit that he wore in those films. He didn't get a new suit, which is cool. And the fact that the Flash is going to have a new suit from Michael Keaton's Batman is just weird. Like, we're just going to be watching a franchise, and when we see Flash on screen, it's just going to be weird to think that Batman from about 30 years ago or something made that suit, the Batman that we never thought would ever come back. So yeah. Anything you want to say at the moment? I think I've basically said everything I wanted to.
Man, that Breaking Time story is way too early, fam.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought, and I think that might the only reason they're bringing Michael Keaton and all that in is so people will actually want to watch it, because they probably just wanted to do a Flashpoint movie, knew it was too early, knew that people would be angry about it, but then they thought, maybe people would forgive us if we got in a bunch of characters that people love, which does seem kind of lazy, and it actually makes me kind of worried for the film. They might just focus less on the story and just focus more on fan service.
Yeah,
And this Flash film is sounding like it's going to get so much fan service that it'll just get boring.
exactly. It sounds like if they did like the Amazing Spider-Man 3, but to not make the fans so mad, they just cast Willem Dafoe as a cameo or something.
And I mean, they could do something where they bring Michael Keaton back as Batman and completely ruin his character. Like, do something with his character that makes people actually hate it, and it actually ruins their time watching the original two Batman films.
Man, that Breaking Time story is way too early, fam.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought, and I think that might the only reason they're bringing Michael Keaton and all that in is so people will actually want to watch it, because they probably just wanted to do a Flashpoint movie, knew it was too early, knew that people would be angry about it, but then they thought, maybe people would forgive us if we got in a bunch of characters that people love, which does seem kind of lazy, and it actually makes me kind of worried for the film. They might just focus less on the story and just focus more on fan service.
Yeah,
And this Flash film is sounding like it's going to get so much fan service that it'll just get boring.
exactly. It sounds like if they did like the Amazing Spider-Man 3, but to not make the fans so mad, they just cast Willem Dafoe as a cameo or something.
And I mean, they could do something where they bring Michael Keaton back as Batman and completely ruin his character. Like, do something with his character that makes people actually hate it, and it actually ruins their time watching the original two Batman films, which can definitely not harm the Flash film, but all the DC films, which wouldn't be great. That's happened before in franchises.
Yep.
Hello. Also, it's weird that we're gonna have both Ben Affleck's Batman and Michael Keaton's Batman in the same film. Something I want to see is both of them meet, and basically they have a random conversation that people will probably remember, similar to the one in the CW Flash where he met with the DCEU Flash and they just talk about each other's suits. Something like that. And they'll just be like, and Ben Affleck's Batman will be like, "Yo, what's that material? It looks weird." And then Michael Keaton will be like, "Yo, you look quite fat in that suit, not gonna lie." Which is kind of true. Also, something that would be really interesting is if they bring Robert Pattinson's Batman into this film.
Who's that?
Who's, you know, the Batman film that comes out in about 2 years with the bloke from Twilight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, DC have already established that he lives on a universe, and it's like he lives on Earth 2, which I just want to mention. It's really weird because there's a DC show of a superhero called Stargirl, and basically she lives on Earth 2 as well. So does that technically mean Robert Pattinson's Batman and Stargirl are in the same universe? That's the question of the day. Because if so, then they are They're very two different tones. Very different. So, anything you want to say now? I think I've said everything I wanted to say.
Is Stargirl the one in that one Lego series that everyone thought was like Captain America?
Yeah, that's her. That's the one.
Oh right.
Yeah, it would be weird. I mean, if Robert Pattinson's Batman lives in the same world as Stargirl, technically that makes so many superheroes canon in his world, like Doctor Fate, Stargirl, some other geezers who I forgot. Green Lantern, I think, is canon then in that case, which is really weird because the Batman 2022 movie is supposed to be grounded and more realistic, and the fact that you're gonna basically put Stargirl in that same universe just sort of takes that away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in conclusions, for me anyway, this Michael Keaton situation, I'm sort of mixed. I'm mostly excited, but also pretty worried. What's your conclusion to this?
Man, I don't know really, because I'm not really into the nerd news that much, so I don't know like much details. But Michael Keaton coming back, that's good. But if they ruin him, that's bad.
Yeah, I'm really worried for this Flash film. It's apparently supposed to work as a soft reboot for the DCEU, so that's kind of weird. But from what I've seen of the Flash film, it's looking good. Michael Keaton coming back, dream come true. Flash's new suit, looks like it could possibly be the best live action Flash suit we've had so far. So, should we end this here?
Yeah, sure.
All right, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed this little podcast that we did. We've had this channel for like at least 3 weeks now. Don't know how much we'll upload on it. Probably just every now and then. We probably won't focus on it too much, only when there's something really interesting. It's just sort of there for something to do. Anything you want to say before we end it?
Do our own channels if you want, because I agree with free will.
Yeah, there's
And
basically
subscribe if you want, because I agree with free will.
there's 3 other channels that you could check out that are related to us. It's Iron Ogre, Buzz Lightning, and the War Machine Ogre. Iron Ogre's just basically me being a nerd talking about films and TV shows. War Machine Ogre's more of a commentary kind of gaming channel, and Buzz Lightning is just basically a commentary channel and maybe a bit of gaming at some point, who knows. Well, we'll see you all in a bit. Goodbye.
Wow.